explore and doing damage to country. And I know it's always a contentious thing with Indigenous people as to how do we navigate a path to exploring and doing what's right for the country, but also traditional owners, that they have benefit and wealth from mining, but also making sure that we're caring for country. So it's always been an issue for me to be able to be in that space, but if we're not in it, we're not there to be able to direct them how to make better decisions for traditional owners. And one of the things that I found is that the interaction with traditional owners when I went and done those things was, you know, they seen that there was an opportunity there for their kids to thrive and survive on country and working in mining. So, you know, even though it was a battle for me to understand that, okay, this mightn't be a good thing, but on the other hand, you had traditional owners saying, yes, we need it, but we need them to be able to listen to us to do it. So I'd done that for 22 years, and then I went into the office. You know, my experience of being on country is totally different to being in the city now it is today. One of the things that being in the office, you're kind of like stuck in a jail, and you're going from one jail to your home, which is another jail. Painting, but I also go back to community and build websites, show them how to do technology stuff, because that's one of the things that's lacking in community is you have these Aboriginal organisations and they've got somewhat older women running it. Need to be reminded, women, Indigenous women run these organisations, even though, you know, bless our men, think that they do, but the women do, we know that. So just going back to community and helping them build websites and being a bit more technology advanced allows them to be, have an opportunity to see what's out there to bring that innovation to local remote towns. So Cloncurry, I've helped the Aboriginal housing community, you know, get more advanced in that. So one of the things, even though I'm an artist now, I try to be able to get back to my community wherever I can. And saying that too, you know, even before I quit my job to become an artist, I literally, when you talk about Queensland South Native Title Service, I've experienced, as an Aboriginal person, your whole life is built around native title and going to meetings and all that type of stuff. So I've experienced the whole range of, you know, the beginning to the end. We've just got consent determination for our country last year. And it's like, well, where to from here? So, you know, as an Indigenous person, it's always, we've got to keep up with what's happening, what's new, and making sure we're going on that journey alone. We've got to take the younger children with us to help build their education around what is the future going to look like. And that's like the whole theme of it, like bridging from, you know, to the future is, it's not just about ourselves as older people, but also making sure we can find, not so much talent, but find the people that are passionate about wanting to change. And that's why because that I'm an artist, I get to go into education system of like daycares and schools and stuff like that to be able to, I guess, sneak information in for children to open them up to flourish more about, you know, cultural identity, learning about Indigenous people, and being able to, I guess, you're building the future really, and it's being able to do that with doing my art is a segue. And but since becoming an artist, I've really enjoyed it. I believe that you had Jesse Green here last year. I'm actually work for him part-time. So I help him with his business, and just wherever I find a way of contributing something to a business or to a person is the most opportune time for me to be able to open their eyes to what the potential is. And it's quite a nice feeling, because I've never met people that are free of giving information, and Aboriginal people are, you know, Indigenous people are, they want to help, they want to see where they can contribute information that can basically open up a whole new pathway. But yes, I've been an artist for 4 years, 6 months now, so I'm still new, you know. I compare myself to other artists, and people have been doing it for years and decades, and But no, it's been a really great feeling. I get to do these events. I get to go out, and Reconciliation Week and NAIDOC Week's my most busiest time, like all Indigenous people. But it's a time where people are saying, oh, you know, we'd love to do that. And doing painting workshops allows people to let down their vulnerabilities. You feel like a child again because you ask questions that you probably wouldn't want to ask in a larger area. So I always get people come up and whisper to me when I'm painting and ask me questions. I'm like, no, that's okay. You know, you can ask that. It's like, it's better to ask than not know and walk away and say, oh, should I ask that question, you know? Because one of the things is misconception, and things that they read on the internet probably isn't something that an Indigenous person would explain it to them like. So, but yeah, and I've really enjoyed this journey. I've really enjoyed creating the first initial Mental Health Week artwork. It's always nice to come back and see my artwork. And then obviously the wall, that was a big surprise. I knew that it was there, but I hadn't seen it. So, but yeah, I'll open up any questions. I didn't really have anything planned, just telling my story.
Thank you, Leah. Who wants to start?
I just want to say, I just looked at your art online and scored.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I picked up a tool after, I think the last time I painted when I was in high school, and I'm quite older now. I'm quite older now, and then yeah, the 4 years, just picking it up. I do art therapy for people that are on NDIS, so it's always great to be able to do that, especially Indigenous clients, because it gives them a sense of pride and reconnecting with their culture. And one of the people asks, so what do you do when you go and do these art therapies? Oh no, we just sit down and paint and talk shit, so it's all right. I'm like, no, we just sit down and we talk about their life experiences. They feel like they're the only person in the world, and they're just feeling like they're bonding to their culture. So it's always a great feeling to be able to do that with clients. And, you know, just some of them have been so disconnected because they've left country a long time ago, to be able to reconnect and ask questions that they probably thought, oh, as a black person, I should know these things. But it's, yeah, we just sit down and have yarns and paint, and it makes them feel reconnected. And some of them find that they actually love it so much they'll start painting. So yeah, it's a real joyous thing for me, especially going out to daycare centres as well with some little Aboriginal kids in there. So yeah, a sense of pride. Yeah.
Yeah, I do have a question. Can you speak about maybe how you feel about that load where Indigenous people are asked to speak for all Indigenous people to non-Indigenous people about how they're feeling?
Yeah, so you've probably heard, I think last year or the year before, that the government put in this cultural leave aspect through some of the corporate spaces where they can go, well, it's been for a while, but sorry, not the cultural leave, cultural pay. And one of those things that I experienced working in the industry and corporate was for the 11 years with an energy company, is that cultural load had been put on me because there's very seldom Indigenous people in the business. And one of those things is trying to be able to respectfully represent not so much a consensus reached by all Indigenous people, but I won't speak on behalf of all Indigenous people, but what I will do is I will take that question that they ask and put it into, I guess, a perspective of making it a Western lens concept. So they asked a question about, what was one of those things? Oh yeah, I don't know what you were talking about when you were talking about totems and skin groups. And I'm like, well, literally, if I was to explain it, totems would be our biodiversity management, how we're given something and we have to take care of it. And then it just made it so easy for them to understand. So, you know, just trying to answer questions in a way that is so fundamentally easy. But what I realise is that some Indigenous people just disengage. They won't answer those questions. So I I've got a guy that works with me for Yalay, and he's starting to go out and do painting workshops. So being able to develop his skills and responding to questions like that. But it definitely is something that you probably don't respond as to like all Indigenous people think this way. It's like, well, me and my mob, this is how we speak to that subject. Yeah, just so they know it's not just a whole consensus. And you know, the voice was that thing. Is like I had family members that said, oh, we're voting no. I'm like, well, if I was to explain it to you, and they're like, oh, okay, now I understand. So it's even draining on us because we have to do it for our family as well, not just only non-Indigenous people. So that cultural load's always there. We're always carrying it. Yeah. No, that's all right.
Thanks, Val. That's a really good question. I just wondered whether Erin or Denise wanted to add to anything to Leah's response to that.
There's always a cultural load.
I know it's an issue that comes up quite a lot. Yeah.
No, I just want to absolutely concur. And I think that, it's one thing when you were saying we do it for our family as well too, but we do it because we want and communities, because you want to help your mob, so you do it without actually thinking about it, and then you're exhausted.
Yeah.
I think it's that it is about that psychosocial well-being that you've got to manage as well too, because sometimes we have obligations that to our family and communities that we can't say no to.
Maybe probably just to Leah's comments, kind of, I think the idea that we're talking for everyone is kind of ridiculous, because it'd be then like we would turn around and just say, like, oh, all white people eat this, or all white people like this, like, you know what I mean? It's kind of ridiculous. Like, we don't do it the other way. So for everyone to think that if I have an opinion on something, that should be collectively Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people's position on it. So I think, it's hard. I think for me, it's just common sense. Like, and the voice, a lot of people ask me with the voice, why didn't all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people support it? And I was kind of like, well, then why is all non-Indigenous people just one party? Like, why are you all not Labor or Liberal? Like, you're asking us to be pigeonholed into one position, but then other nationalities in Australia are allowed to be kind of, diverse and pick where they want to sit. So it's kind of just a bit of that ridiculous hypocrisy, I guess, of we're supposed to be united completely. So,
Yeah. And also, like, my family was so disappointed at the fact that I left mining for like 22 years. I feel like sometimes, because I still try to stay in that network, and I feel like an imposter. And one of the things that imposter syndrome really, really sinks in deep to me. But sometimes, because we're so resilient as Indigenous people, it's like, no, actually, I deserve to be in this space. So, we have to show a sense of pride, but it's like, how do we get that pride back for our younger kids? And that's whole instilling their beliefs and their cultural identity, and given the opportunity to be in spaces like this and talk and get them out of their shell, because you realise we've got so many talented Indigenous kids out there that can articulate. I'm like, I wish I could speak like that, but yeah, just some of them are amazing, and it's like giving them the opportunity to be who they are in community instills that pride, and then they're our future leaders really, and they're the ones that are going to change things for us. So, we'll persevere and keep fighting and trying to educate our own family and community and stuff like that, but it's like giving children the opportunity to be who they are, and they will flourish, and they'll be the ones changing, what we're trying to fight today. So I'm very privileged that we have future children and generations that are going through boarding school, getting a higher education, because they're the ones that will basically make sure that what we dream of will become a reality for us. So, but yeah, thank you so much for inviting me to speak to you. I probably just went everywhere with that, but yeah, I didn't really plan anything. I could show you my artwork, but yeah, the website's there. People go, oh, you talk about your artwork, and I'm like, oh, that's just a part of me. That's not important. So, so I done Queensland Firebirds. I done their artwork. That was on their uniform. That's the one on the wall. I'm doing supercars this year, so they'll be on the tracks of Darwin and on the Townsville track. So yeah, I've done a few large ones, but people go, oh, you're famous. And I'm like, no, not really. I want my fame to sit with my family because they're the ones that made sure I am who I am today. They're the ones that poured a lot of stuff into my future and supported me, so yeah.
Are you based here, Leah?
Yeah, just out at Wynnum, so yeah.
It's called Connected Communities.
Yes.
And we approached Leah because we'd worked with you on Mental Health Week and you did the artwork, which is still the artwork again this
Yes.
year. So popular, we're just leading it again. So thanks for that. But so we approached Leah, obviously our 4 colours. We said to Leah, you know, can you do something with the 4 colours of the CheckUP logo? And we wanted to show, because one of the CheckUP's main services is the outreach health service delivery, and we go across, we have a network of providers who go across Queensland. So I said to Leah, we want sort of an aerial view of Queensland, showing the different parts of Queensland, the different, so we've got the ocean and I guess the Torres Strait Islands in the blue, the coastal green, farming, sort of the yellow, I see wheats and crops in the yellow section, and then the more red dirt parts of Queensland. So when Leah showed us, it was kind of exactly, no, it was more than what I had imagined actually, and it was one of those times we just said yes, the first draft. That's exactly kind of what we were thinking. So yeah, it really showed all the different communities. What's the name for these?
Oh, they're communities.
Yeah.
So everyone's sitting around.
Sitting around.
Yeah.
So that's really what we wanted, just to show the diversity of Queensland and the fact that we do deliver services right around the state. So we're very proud, and we presented to our foundation members at our 25th anniversary dinner. We had printed copies of your artwork. And
Nice.
So they now have that artwork in their office as well. So yeah. So I just thought I'd give you the story behind the artwork.
Yeah, I'm so glad that the first original art piece that I did for the Mental Health Week is still so popular.
Yeah.
It's always, yeah.
Totally here somewhere.
It's on the wall out
That
there.
one. So yeah, if you go to the Queensland Mental Health Week website, you'll see it. And check out, just a plug, we're coordinating Mental Health Week again this year. We just found out the other day. So the 8th year we've coordinated Mental Health Week, and using Leah's artwork yet again. So thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
And I think as well, just to comment, Leah, like what we've tried to do as one of the key objectives for our Reconciliation Action Plan, and I know other organisations do this as well, but really trying to showcase art in our organisation as one expression, I suppose, of our commitment to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, and to recognising that invaluable, I guess, I suppose art is an expression of your culture. And what we've encouraged is when when our staff sometimes go to other locations, we try to always support local businesses and bring some of that art back. So we're trying to create a bit of a gallery on our wall upstairs, showcasing that art.
Yeah, people need to understand that storytelling and art is the way that most communities make self-sufficient, because they rely upon that money being spent paying, because our money, my money, is my family's money. And that's a lot within communities, is that they rely upon that support to be able to survive and stay on their country, because, you know, like me, I came down to boarding school, but a lot of them have to make the hard decisions to be moving into towns or cities just for the pure fact of trying to survive. So wherever there's an opportunity for small businesses doing artwork, storytelling, spending money in community goes further than what people actually think it does. It actually supports the whole community. So like my money, I support my whole family. Even though I don't want to sometimes, but it's a cultural obligation and I do it with all my heart. But yeah, it's encouraged a lot of my other family too to actually pick up a brush or start to do other stuff that is of the creative space, because we do it so well, not just in with artwork, but actually writing and illustrations and all that type of stuff. So yeah, just encouraging people to do that as well, and not so much just Indigenous, but like I said, art therapy for non-Indigenous people is always an amazing thing. I know going and having a drink and painting is an awesome thing to do in a setting, but in a private setting too, sitting down painting is really therapeutic, and that really helped me through my struggle with anxiety, and now I get to space out whenever I want to in my room and chuck the football in and make probably $5,000 while I'm painting. But yeah, no, it's really, really good thought. That's what I'm painting for. It's like, I need to make this money. But yeah, no, it's definitely a way of me expressing my stories, and especially stories of my country. You know, like I said, working in mining and that, and seeing other people's country, I just in awe of that. But then I go back to my own country, I'm like, just the time at winter and all the native flowers and plants. It's like, have any of you been to Mount Isa and Cloncurry? Yeah, oh, Mount Isa, yeah. Cloncurry's prettier, it's nicer. It's got a big river, which is really nice. But yeah, just being able to go out in country and, you know, my mob, you know, go from the Cloncurry all the way up to the Gulf. My father's connected up there too, so everything brown to green. You know, the rivers that intersect all there and go out into the Carpentaria there. So, but yeah, no, just seeing this one reminds me of, you know, home and the colours and the rich storytelling that we have. And one of the things is like Reconciliation Week is important to make sure that we're also listening to our old people, because they deserve the respect that they get within community to tell their stories. And as hurtful as it is, you know, every NAIDOC we sit down and it's not so much, it's a celebration of Indigenous excellence, but also a reminder to sit down with their ancestors, our elders too, and listen and learn about our culture, because some of us don't get to go out on country and do that experience with us. So yeah, that's NAIDOC and reconciliation. But yeah, no, I could talk forever, but you've got to stop me.
Not at all. No, we can listen as well and engage with you. Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
In Queensland, like we have the most, I think we're the most culturally
Diverse.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have like that many Indigenous cultures, tribal groups, and also the island groups, Torres Strait Island groups. So if you go into any remote communities, like in Araku, for example, they do a lot of carvings. So you know, you have the old dog carvings to tell their story about the dogs or the fishes, and so they do a lot of carvings around the crocodile. And they do performances around those carvings. On the East Cape, it's where I come from, so Woolgallogy and Woolgallogy country, we do a lot of cave art. So like dot art is not our we do a lot of cave art that portrays the stories of this particular animals and stories about those animals. That's belonging to those totem groups. And I come from the rainforest as well on my grandmother's side, so this is a shield art. It's bilateral art. It's completely different to dot art again. So, you know, we have that many array of different diverse arts that tell our stories. And then you get the Torres Strait,
Yeah.
get all their carvings and, you know, what they do up there. So, you know, we sit in a very diverse state than any other state in Australia. You know, so we have that many, we have all the Torres Strait Islanders in there. So, you know, so, then we've got all the Aboriginal groups, that many Aboriginal groups from Cape York to EPA to East Cape, West Cape, Rainforest Group, Gulf Country at Mornington Island there. So you see some of their beautiful art as well. That's come back from there, so it's really eye-opening. And like you're saying, like a lot of our mob, we use what we've got in remote communities. I come from a community as well myself, so we use what we've got. We can't wait for anybody. We can't wait for service to come in, you know, so we just do what we've got. And like I've got a lot of uncles and aunties within my community that do a lot of weaving, basket weaving. You know, my aunties and that, they call it Yoruba in my language, for those Yimi, for those basket. I speak 2 languages back home. So so we have that back home as well. So, and they make their money out of that, like sister, you do that, you know, like to feed our family. You know? And that's how we've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah. Trading is a big thing too as well. Like
Yeah.
I'd trade and swap artwork for other people's artwork, because hatch work is absolutely amazing. I can't do it for my life and I wish I could, but in terms of sharing and giving and gifting is what Indigenous people do. And we're not an homogenous culture. We've got all these cultures stuck in Queensland, and we all do things differently. And yeah, sometimes people group us all together, but we're actually not. Yeah.
And it is important, and thank you so much for sharing that, because it is a really important reminder to understand we're not talking about a single form of art or culture. The value of it is the diversity, and that we need to understand what's unique to particular communities.
If you're going to see the fusion of all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander, go to Cairns Indigenous Art Form.
Yeah, yeah.
To see the wonderful, colourful of all Torres Strait Aboriginal island art.
Yeah, I think that's in the middle of the year, isn't it? Is that
Coming up.
coming up, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
July.
Oh, great. Thanks. Well, thank you, Leah. Thanks. Unfortunately, I think Aaron can't be with us, so hopefully he's okay. We'll follow up on that. But we thought one of the other things that we did want to celebrate is Reconciliation Australia have, if you've looked at some of their website, what they're also promoting this year is the importance of music as a means of reconciliation. And so they have an initiative called Voices for Reconciliation, and there's actually a song that they have developed this year as for in celebration of Reconciliation Week 2025. So we thought we might just share that with you and give you the opportunity to look at that as yet another dimension of our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture. We hope.
Let's hope the sound works. I haven't checked the sound. Next year, CheckUP will be on that.
Yeah, I was just going to.
Children have
I was
been
just
killed in
going to.
Gaza and thousands more injured.
I was just going to say the same thing, David. That's our plan. So if you're interested in being part of our choir for next year, yeah, let us know. I don't really know how to capture, the feeling from today. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you particularly to Erin, Denisha and Leah for your honesty, your generosity and sharing, your culture, your knowledge, your experiences with us. It truly feels very humbling to be there, and we really do appreciate you giving up so much of your time and, you're inspiring us. So it's been great to see the interest from everyone here in the room and others joining us online. We're really pleased that you've taken the time to join us. As we've heard today, we all have a part to play when it comes to reconciliation. I think it is important, though, that sometimes we get so caught up in celebrating reconciliation, National Reconciliation Week, that reconciliation is not just a once-a-year occurrence. We all have a responsibility to step forward together to make sure that it's part of what we do every day and year round, not just it's National Reconciliation, it's May, we'll do something for Reconciliation Week, and the rest of the year it's out of sight and perhaps out of mind as well. As we've heard from our three speakers today, it's very much part of your life every single day, and we want to stand with you and alongside you in that journey. So Bridging Now to Next calls us all to step forward together, to look ahead and push forward as much as past lessons need also to guide us. In this way, we collectively build strengthened, respectful relationships and communities that value Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, histories, cultures and futures. So thank you again for joining us. Please stay. We've got what is quite an early lunch, but for those amongst you, if you have got the time to stay, we'd like to invite you to join us. And I've forgotten something, David.
There's information about the caterer. We have
right, okay, thank you.
Indigenous business today for catering, and there's information there.
Oh, okay, right. So it's from Fig Jam and Co. They are second generation Indigenous business. They're descendants of, I'm not going to pronounce this respectfully, Gunjamara and Naranginderi. Sorry, apologies for the mispronunciation there, from southwest Victoria and southeast South Australia. So I think there's probably a bit of an explanation about some of the food that it's displayed. So we hope you'll stay with us and enjoy that lunch with us.
Can I just say to the people online, you may have noticed there were some sound problems. We had people trying to figure it out. So the first half of the meeting we didn't have sound, but we think it's all being recorded. So if you're watching online and you missed some of the beginning, we'll send you the link. We think it's all been recorded, the sound. But the second half was fine. Big thank you to David. We tested it all this morning. Everything was working beautifully, and of course, there was a glitch somewhere. But thanks, David, for
Well,
persevering.
we are nothing but adaptable,
We
right?
are.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, thank you everyone. Thanks very much for coming, and please come and join us for some refreshments. Thanks.